Welcome to the Word of the Week. Every week, I cover one word to help you realize the kind of relationship you have with this word and how this word shows up in your life. Words have power. They affect our actions affect our habits, and our habits affect our outcomes. So the word for this week is decide. Decide. The definition of decide is come to a resolution in the mind as a result of consideration or to settle a dispute or doubt. Listen to this example because I think it will make the point that I'm trying to convey to you. Let's say that you were placing a roof on top of your home and you get the nail and you hit it to hold the roof in place, and you hit it just a couple of times and you leave most of the nail out because you just don't feel like hitting the nail all the way in. And you do the same with the next nail and the next nail and the next one. And every 15 nails or so, you realize that you really need to put that nail all the way in. And so you do it until the nail goes in, and then you go back to just hitting the nail a couple of times. So every 15 nails, you actually put in the work to put the nail all the way in. When the wind gets really strong or there's a real bad storm, will that roof hold in place? Yes or no? Probably not. Let me ask you a question. Is that the relationship you have with the word decide? I find that for a lot of my earlier life, I make a lot of decisions and I decided things quickly without giving it the importance that it needed. And because of that, I made a lot of mistakes. Do you find yourself making decisions all the time without giving it the importance that a decision needs to have? When you decide, do you actually ponder and are conscientious about what you are deciding on and the outcomes that that decision will bring? When you decide, do you take that time? I find that our power to create in our lives starts with that, deciding, having the power to decide. And this is a personal power that all of us have that we constantly mismanage. If you think about it, any big fight in the world, in social movements, or anything that you do individually as a person, at the core of every fight or disagreement is the power to decide. If you think about, for example, people of color in the United States fighting for the rights to vote, the rights to walk through the front door, etc., they were fighting for the power to decide to have access to the same things that other people had. When women were fighting for the right to vote, they were fighting for the right to decide to be relevant and involved in the electoral process. So at the core of anything that has to give you progress is the power to decide. It is a big deal, but every day you and I decide things through the day without giving it the importance that it needs. Just like the example that I shared with you, placing the roof and not putting every nail all the way in to hold the roof in place. Deciding is key to creating your life. So as you go through this week, I want you to identify the moments when you are actually deciding something. Every day we do it multiple times a day. And I want you to ask yourself two questions. Number one, what area of my life am I deciding on? If you're buying a hamburger, then you would ask yourself, what area am I deciding on? I'm deciding on my health area, for example. And then the second question is this. Based on this decision, what is the outcome that I can expect? If you stay eating hamburgers every day, all the time, what can you expect regarding your health? You see what I mean? So, harness the ability to decide. Become more conscientious about your relationship with this word and move it up in the priority list in your life. And if you become more aware about when you are deciding on something and you ask yourself those two questions, what area of my life would this affect and what outcome can I expect? Now you can actually give yourself a choice to make a different decision to expect a different outcome. We don't have to have psychic powers to know what tomorrow will bring. All you gotta do is to be more aware what you are deciding today to know what will happen to you tomorrow. Have a great week. Be aware when you decide this week and see how this word shows up in your life. See you at the top where the champions belong.